welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you how to walk two dogs on a leash. We have Hugo today and then we have Dexter who we're working on. I'm going to show you how I walk both of them and how I'm going to kind of give Dexter corrections and probably Hugo because they're two males walking together for the first time. We're going to see how they do and I'm going to record how I would correct that and how I would get them to walk together.
If you haven't already, check out NewVet. They're a really good supplement for dogs and puppies. I have it on my website as well as linked in the description. If you use my code, it just gives me credit. We've been using them for a long time, well before I even started videos. We just really love them. I'll make a separate video on why we love NewVet and all of the benefits. Okay, so we started walking them on two leashes. I encouraged them to come walk with me. They're kind of bumping around and not sure what side who's going to be on. So I'm just going to kind of let them figure that out, as you'll see in the video. And once they figure that out, we'll get a rhythm from there. I wanted to add this clip in because Dexter was charging at the deer that he was seeing walking in the other yard. So I wanted to show how I corrected him with that. You'll see that I kind of give him a little nudge and I corrected him with the leash as well. And I got in front of him to calm him down and then I waited for him to sit. He only does this twice while we were working this exercise today. Hugo did a really good job. As you can see, he's very attentive to what I'm wanting him to do next. So then he does it again here, not as bad, but he still does it. So I pulled him back and I got in front of him and I put my hand out and I just say, hey, that's the word that I use because I get tired of saying no. So I just say, hey, and I get in front of him and I'm just waiting for him to sit down and just calm down because I don't want him to be doing that. And that's one of the things that we're working on that is the reason that he's coming to us. So I just stood there a little while and let him really calm down and really let it soak in, and then the deer kind of wandered off, so I was able to continue on with the exercise. But I wanted to add that in for other people that might be dealing with that issue. So I'm just letting them find their groove. They end up with Hugo on the outside and Dexter on the inside, and then we kind of start getting our groove. Dexter's issue is he wants to get right behind my feet or on the wrong side. So if my leash is on my right side, I need him to walk on my right side or slightly behind me, but still on that right side. Because if he's further back and they start to walk faster or for whatever reason, I don't want that leash to be behind me and it's just uncomfortable for everybody. And especially since he's walking next to Hugo. So he starts to get a groove of being on the inside. You'll see them switch a couple times throughout the video, but eventually they figure it out and he figures out that he likes to be on the inside and Hugo on the outer, since Hugo tends to walk a little easier on the leash. So he kind of confuses Hugo here a little bit too, so Hugo's going on the wrong side. I paused because my husband was talking to me, but it was a good practice for them to kind of pause and sit and just kind of wait for what I was going to do next. So they do a really good job here actually, and my husband is talking to me while I'm making a video. But as you can see, they're sitting. That's a really good exercise you want to practice while you're walking too, is just stopping randomly so that they listen to that and that they're not constantly pulling on the leash either. So I think about here they start figuring out that what side they want to be on. Hugo knows to go out wide so he's not next to my feet. He doesn't like to be really close to my feet. But Hugo's used to walking on a leash with me. So this is new for Dexter, and he's going to kind of take off cues from Hugo as well. I have another video too where I taught Dexter how to walk on a leash for the first time with just me. So he learns a lot of great things there, but walking with other dogs also is a skill that he needs to know how to do and not be switching back and forth and not trying to be overly dominant on the walk either. So he is learning this, so this is a new exercise for him. So he's still trying to go onto my left side, which I don't want him to. So I'm just pulling the leash to the side and directing him back to the right side, which I want him to walk on. So I'm just walking back and forth. I want to do it in a controlled environment at first, so I can really control a lot of the factors that are going to happen and not a whole lot of people and other dogs walking. I want to start off on a good solid foundation, so I start here just in this driveway where I know there's very low traffic, and working him with Hugo because Hugo is my other male. And again, this is the first time that they're walking on a leash together, which is a really good bonding experience for them so that they can start to integrate Dexter into our family and our routine. So they do pretty well here together. Dexter starts to kind of decide that he wants to be on the inside and Hugo is content with being on the outside. Hugo's super easy to walk on a leash, so I wanted to pair these two together because I knew Hugo would give a pretty good example for Dexter to follow. So they do a really good job here, so I like to praise them. I want to praise when I'm getting some good walking behavior to encourage. Hugo's overly excited there. He's a little attention hog. So Hugo gets a little distracted there, easily corrected. Dexter's doing a really good job here. He's the one mostly that we're working on. So again, I'm just using some leash correction, so it's just a slight pull to the side that I want him to walk on. I prefer my right side. If it's your left side, you just pull that way. I just don't want him too close to my heels, and I want him to stay behind me and on that right side. So he does pretty well overall for the first time walking. You can see he gets distracted pretty easily, where Hugo is just kind of content with wherever I'm leading him. He got a little distracted there, but it's easily corrected. So I pause here again because I think my husband was talking to me, but it was, again, a good exercise to just stop randomly, just to have them calm and be next to you and be waiting on you, and knowing that they're not pulling or trying to run somewhere, and that they're content with being next to you. So they're doing really well here. They really found a groove on which side they wanted to be on. So Dexter on the inside, Hugo on the outside. I did a little bit of terribly slow jogging there to get them a little bit more energized for the walk. It was pretty hot out, so I didn't want to stay too long, but I really wanted to get a good exercise in with them to work their mind and their body a little bit in this little bit of heat. So you'll see Dexter's not really in tune with checking to see what it is that I'm requiring of him. So you'll see he kind of gets a little bit pulled by the leash and collar because he's not really paying attention. He's looking the other way. So he starts to correct that as the video goes on. But you can see when he gets a little bit of slack where he feels he's stopping, he's looking away, and then the leash kind of pulls him. But as he walks with me more, then he's going to be more attentive to the walker. So they got confused here, and they were almost going to switch sides. So they had to figure that out for a little bit, so I allowed that. And so here I'm just doing some stops and practicing them stopping on the right side too. Obviously I don't want them to stop wherever they feel it necessary to stop. I want them to stop right there in that heel position as well. So I stopped and walked, stopped again. They switched sides here, so they're a little thrown off by that too, because they stopped in a weird way the first time. But we're still just practicing stop and go, so they corrected it later on. As you can see now, Hugo's on the outside, Dexter's on the inside, so they're figuring out how to walk on a leash together, which is a really cool thing to see. So again, some terribly slow jogging. I'm newly postpartum, just had my baby, so I do what I can for my dogs, but it's not much right now. Still healing. But they like the little bit of a faster pace going on. So you'll see my leash just kind of correct Dexter because he walked on the wrong side a little bit, and I fixed the leash because I think it got tangled there. So as we continue this exercise, eventually I don't want to have to be able to pull on the leash too terribly much. I want to be able to have a relaxed arm and then walk accordingly. But right now, because Dexter is there, it is a lot of having to have my arm out there and correcting it. Sometimes you'll see me put it down and be a little bit more relaxed, but right now we're doing a lot of leash corrections. As minor as they are, I'm still having to do a lot of leash corrections. So my arm is very much engaged through this whole walk, which can be pretty tiresome, but the goal is to improve. So again, I sit here. You can see Hugo's very attentive looking at me, so I gave him a lot of praise because he sits and looks directly at me waiting for something. Dexter's like, wait a second, why didn't I get any pets? I didn't acknowledge him because he hadn't done anything extremely great there, because I was praising Hugo for being attentive to me, and Dexter was kind of looking around. And you can see that distraction led into the exercise where he's still very distracted on him looking around. So we just continue walking and just giving him leash correction. You can see there he's still trying to look at the deer, but he's not charging them anymore, which is a great improvement because he really wants to charge things, and we're really working on getting rid of that habit. So again, just some stops and goes. I really like to practice those because they keep the dog on their toes, waiting for what's being required of them next. I gave him a little leash correction there because he was very focused on random little noises that were going on there, which wasn't even a deer or anything. He's just so distracted. So I gave him a little leash correction to focus back on me so it wouldn't lead into his walk, which worked beautifully.
Okay, so that concludes this video. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, there's only more videos to come, more training videos, more grooming videos, and more plain cute puppy videos. Thank you so much for watching.